Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 348. My name is Mel Popeye Moss. My co host, Mel O.G. Robbins. We are with Sons of Liberty Riders MC, and I want to say good evening, Mel. How are you doing?
Doing good. It finally got some sleep, and coming back from that trip, I know we traveled out to Vegas, and when we checked in at the counter, the guy started advising us that the flight was probably going to be delayed. He said, "I don't know what's going on down there in Texas." He said, "But you all have had storms every day, and it is seriously screwing with our flights."
Well, that wasn't all it was screwing with. Is Mel and I, we were both out of town at the same time, so our club was running amok. No,
all you can do is pray at that point.
that's right. So it was cool. Geezer was left in charge, and so hey, we knew it was in good hands, right?
Yeah, everything was still there when we got back. So
That's right. Not too much had happened that we
right.
we had bumps and bruises that our riders have gotten over a period of last couple of months, but they're all healing. They're all healing. That's a good thing. And of course, I was in Paladura Canyon out in West Texas. If anybody that's never been there, I would. It's the second largest canyon in the United States, next to the Grand Canyon, and it's an interesting place.
Those are some beautiful pictures you sent back.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. The zip line was disappointing. I wanted to ride a zip line all the way across the canyon. That wasn't the case. The zip line went over a gully, not a canyon.
Just out of curiosity, what did they charge to ride that zip line?
It was like $30. Not too bad.
Well, let me tell you what they charge to ride the zip line in Vegas.
Uh-oh.
Uh, as you know, they covered Fremont Street or Casino Center years ago.
Yeah.
So that's kind of covered. And it's kind of a neat place to go down and walk around because there are some real characters down there.
Oh, yes.
And I'll tell you, it goes from X-rated to G-rated. All within a matter of 10 steps.
Yeah.
So, but they've got two zip lines in there, a lower one that starts at one end and goes midway and stops at a midway station. And then they've got the upper, and I'll bet you that sucker is somewhere between 60 and 100 feet up.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes all the way. And you can go either like Superman in flying mode or seated in a harness.
There you go.
The halfway zip line is $45.
Uh-huh.
The full ride is, the halfway is 25.
Mm-hmm.
The full ride is like 90. So, my wife was saying, well, you need to do this. You got to do this. And I said, look, I don't have a problem doing it, but I'll be damned if I'm going to pay $90 to go all the way.
Yeah.
I'd pay 25,
Mm-hmm.
but not 90 to go all the way. And I'll be damned if I'm going to pay 25 just to go halfway.
Yeah, well, was you going to go Superman style or sitting up?
Oh, I was going to, obviously, Superman.
There you go.
Yeah.
They didn't offer a Superman style in the Paladura Canyon thing. So I opted for the Jeep ride, which actually, Mel, wasn't a Jeep. It was a Hummer. So.
Okay.
But it was cool, man. That Hummer had probably been seen many days of combat. It just looked that way. But you go off down into the canyon in that Jeep. You're going up and down some some pretty steep hills, and that thing gets kind of, what do you say, cattywampus. So you begin to have thoughts whether you should have been jeeping or zipping. So
Yeah.
but it was cool. It was cool. You actually go down a canyon. People that have been to the Grand Canyon said actually that's better because you get closer to it. So you're not looking just off into a canyon, and you can actually get down in the bottom of it and fool around. Go hiking, other stuff. I could think of a lot of things. Everything but shoot your pistol. Can't do it in a state park. Damn. I wanted to too, but I digress. Mel, you ready to talk some biker stuff?
Yes, sir.
The other day I wrote an article called Just Imagine in TexasBikerRadio.org. And that article was talking about a 24-year Army veteran who is a Purple Heart recipient, a 2-time Bronze Star recipient, wounded in combat. He's been in every hellhole the United States has sent our military men to over the last 24 years. And now he's having his constitutional rights jerked out from underneath him, even though he's got a stellar record, has never been guilty of any crimes, yet he's being denied his constitutional rights. And you know where I'm going here, because he's in a 1% club that has made it onto the gang and that has made it onto the gang database list. Now there's a lot of things that are screwball about what's going on. A lot of things, because what this boils down to is guilty by association. And Mel, let me say this: there's been some Supreme Court rulings that you cannot be found guilty of association unless you knew of a crime being committed, unless you participated in a crime being committed, unless you were involved in the shit.
But you know, you bring up a real interesting point here, specifically with this particular individual, because he's never been convicted of a crime. He's never really been in trouble. He's a decorated war veteran.
He's a decorated war hero, is what he is, Mel.
Yeah. Yep. And so he comes out of the service, joins a club because he likes the bike, and so he elects to wear a 1% patch, which, hey, you know, that's freedom of choice.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So you've got a guy here that's never been in trouble, never been in trouble with the law, joins an organization, and somehow or other, mysteriously, his name appears on a criminal gang database. Now, that begs the question, how the hell did it get there?
Yes.
Obviously, he had to be spied on.
Yep.
And my assumption and or theory would be his motorcycle was at some event where they were taking pictures of license plates on motorcycles. That's one possibility.
Yeah. We've seen it.
You and I know we have been to events where we've seen law enforcement taking pictures of everyone's motorcycle, capturing that license plate. So if this guy's never been in trouble, how the hell did his name get on a criminal gang database?
Well, and Mel, we're going to play a video for everybody here in a bit where you can listen to exactly. Now, this is not the guy you're hearing in the video is the police officer or the DPS officer. He is the DPS officer in question that was arresting them for criminal carry. And Mel, if you notice in there, he said he's going to inventory the bike.
Right.
Going to inventory it instead of. I mean, we're playing word games now with everything, trying to be nice.
Yeah, inventory, illegal search.
Yeah,
he
said
stopped
that
him for speeding.
Yeah, 7 miles over, OG. 7 miles over.
How many people get their vehicles searched when they're stopped by law enforcement for speeding?
How many people get their vehicles confiscated for 7 miles over?
Oh, yeah. This one would have been towed and impounded because they took him to jail.
Yes. Absolutely incredible what we see going on. And how does your name, when you've never committed a crime, how does your name end up in that database? Just for being a member? Just for guilty by association? It's absolutely crazy. There's plenty of organizations out there, plenty of them, that they're not hauling people to jail, that they're not labeling them criminals for being a damn member. I would say the Democratic Party is one of them, the BLM. The list runs on and on, yet when it comes to motorcycles, oh, here we go. And what about when it comes to veterans? It's an absolutely incredible thing, what we're seeing. And we're going to fight this. And we're going to do it a bunch of different ways. And we're going to, when we call out for a rally, we need you guys to show up. Because this is wrong. You fellow veterans out there, attention to what's going on here. This shouldn't be being done to a veteran, especially by another damn veteran. I hate to say that, but hey, I'm a veteran myself. I can say it. When another veteran does this kind of crap to a 24-year vet. And not only that, Mel, the guy that's in the car that's talking to this officer, he's a 22-year vet. That's going through the same thing. So everybody listen to this video closely. Matter of fact, this officer has been in trouble before. And we're saying this is a guy he's certainly got bad judgment, this police officer. And why he's still wearing a badge, I don't know. But we'll be sure to make sure and post his name here in a little bit. I think his last name is Tice. But you got to understand what's going on. Our constitutional rights are being jerked out from underneath us for nefarious reasons by the law enforcement. And it's just like, Mel, that police officer right there has, or DPS officer, has the ability to jerk his CHL, cancel that CHL right there on a damn spot, and also put him into a gang database. Even if he wasn't there, he can put him there. Without knowing anything about him, without knowing his record, just because of what he's wearing. And let me tell you, that's too much power for an officer, a law officer.
That's a very dangerous situation.
It sure is. It's too much power for him to be able to do that there on the spot when the person hasn't even had a chance to defend himself. It's just not right. It's just not right. You should have your day in court to be able to defend yourself that you're not a freaking criminal. And he's going to get that because we're going to trial, baby, in August. And we want everybody there. All you veterans, all you veteran bikers, we want you there. It'll be in the Milam County Courthouse. We'll be posting it. We'll be posting it because we got to stand up and say, hey, enough. Enough.
We need to show support.
That's right. You shouldn't be putting people into a gang database when they don't belong there. And that's just the truth of it. Now, are there some bad guys out there? Yeah, there is. You know, if they're doing the dirty deeds, you know, put them in jail. But not the innocent. You know, go ahead, Mel.
No, I was going to say there's some real underlying dangers here because you've got these law enforcement characters running around out there that have the power to invalidate your CHL. They have the power to put you in a gang database, and you could just be attending an event. Mm-hmm. You know, there's charity events going on all the time where a biker has gone down and their club is running an event to try and get money to help this guy through a tough patch of paying medical bills and maybe getting his kids back in school to buy school supplies and clothes or food. So you go to these events and you get some harebrained law enforcement guy snapping pictures of license plates at some of these events, and just because you go to an event that they don't happen to like that particular club, you could end up in their database.
Yeah.
There's no control.
Exactly.
There is no control on these people. That's why we're fighting so damn hard to get profiling legislation passed, because it goes way beyond getting stopped on the road because you're riding a motorcycle.
Right.
It has a lot of insidious tentacles wrapping itself around everybody. And if you're sitting in another state where you're saying, well, we really don't have a profiling problem, well, don't think for a minute that your law enforcement agencies in that state aren't watching what's going on every place else in the country. And they see this going on and they see no resistance to it, they're going to say, you know, this is found money, low-hanging fruit. Let's start going after these guys.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're right there with everyone else.
You know, Mel, I was at the suppression hearing down in Milam County, and that judge there had the opportunity to do the right thing. I mean, he could have nipped that in the bud right there, which he had the reasons to nip it into the bud. He had the reasons to do that, but he chose not to. He didn't have the balls, Mel. That's a judge with no balls.
Another example of the good old boy network.
Just went along with whatever the prosecutor said, even though we knew they were standing there and lying. But go ahead. We want to go to trial, and we want you there with us. We want to pack that courthouse. We want to have a rally before this happens. We want your help. We want your help. And you know, well, Mel, let's watch that video right now. You ready?
Sure.
It's a video, but it's the camera's not on the people that are talking, so you don't actually see them. But we'll watch that video right now, and then we'll come back here in a second and comment on it. And like we've been doing, there's some interesting things like inventory the motorcycle. Oh, God, give me a break. Here we go.
They're supposed to revoke your CHLs. That's why he's going to jail. Okay.
There's nothing on the books that say that.
There is.
Is he traveling with 3 or more?
Huh?
Is he traveling with 3 or more?
For what? Unlawful carry of a weapon?
I did the CHL. Nowhere in my CHL does it say that. Nowhere on my CHL does it say.
Yes, sir. So you're
And I'm a 22-year honorably discharged veteran, so.
Okay. So here's the deal. All right. One, I don't know how much you've been drinking tonight. But
None.
Okay,
I don't drink.
Who do I smell alcohol?
Neither. No smell?
Don't.
I mean,
Here's it. All right. I'm not trying to harass anybody. All right.
Right.
I stopped him for speeding. That was all. All right. He comes back registered as a gang member. Okay. The Banditos are a 1% gang member in the state of Texas, but not everybody's registered as a gang member.
yeah, but you have to arrest him for carrying a weapon.
Because he has a gun and he's registered as a gang member. You can't be a gang member and hold a gun. So whenever he became a CHL holder, he either didn't disclose that he was a gang member or
didn't ask.
Okay, exactly. So it is in there. So that's part of the law that you have to disclose. You can't be a gang member and possess a weapon.
But I'm not trying to argue or anything. I'm just trying to understand the law for myself.
And I'm trying to explain you right. That's right.
But when I took my CHL, it didn't ask me if I was who I was or anything.
Hello.
I mean, I just want to make sure.
Hey, I got 195 right now. I'm inventorying the vehicle. I'm gonna release it to some passerbyers. Okay.
No, I'm just getting general knowledge. I don't want to get jammed up for it either.
And that's what I'm going to educate him too. So
you can't let him go?
when I run your driver's license here in a minute, I'll let you know if you're registered as gang member.
Okay.
All right. And if you are, you can't carry a gun.
Okay.
Ever.
So when I go up, because I had another guy just the other day went up and took a course and stuff. If he takes a course and it doesn't ask him that federally,
When you
or
take the
state of
course,
Texas,
it's not a big deal. You don't get your license right then. You take your paperwork, you submit it to the state of Texas.
right in the state
They're
of
not
Texas,
going to give it to you if you're registered as a gang member.
The state
Part of
of
those
Texas never
questionnaires, they did, because I got mine before I became a police officer. And
What
it's
year?
part of the rules. 2007 is when I got mine.
Yeah, because I didn't get mine 2011 or 12,
So-
and it.
But
didn't
either
ask.
way, now you know, right?
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll know here in a minute.
Okay.
All right. So y'all don't have your weapons on you. We're not worried about it. I'm going to finish inventory vehicle. I'll let y'all do however y'all want to do with it, because he's going to release it, but I'm going to have whoever's taking the sign piece paper, okay?
Yeah,
So,
I'm glad you told me, because I never knew that. That was the thing.
He's going to Milam County. He'll see the judge in the morning. He should be able to get out, okay?
And I didn't know you were able to lose your constitutional rights for association.
For a gang member, yes.
For association. That's
Not
a constitutional right, ain't it?
He's a confirmed gang member. That is, I don't know who did that. Somebody confirmed him, whether he's been arrested before or something along those. I don't know. All right, so
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious.
it's not losing your constitutional rights. That's part of the rules of, just like a blood or a crip, right? We can't let them run around with guns either.
They're street gang.
So is in Texas. So is banditos.
Pointed to me, street gangs
So
normally.
are them the
Street gangs are normally
angels or whoever.
brotherhoods that don't have
Who's the other
jobs
one?
and do drugs and shit like that.
I don't know, man. I don't make the laws.
I did 22 and a half years in the military.
Hey, I did 10.
and
So
a bunch of my brothers. What was your month?
11 Bravo.
Badass. I was actually a 13 Bravo / 92
Field
Yankee
artillery,
and-
or no,
Field artillery.
Field artillery,
And then
yeah.
I was a 92 Yankee and a
supply. No,
yeah,
19
supply. in 11 Bravo units. I was in the man shoes and
There you
a
go.
bunch
See,
of them.
If you don't mind, I'm going to put my hair back.
Yeah, you do what you got to do.
Okay, man, I just
Let me
wanna
go-
make you
Let me go
nervous.
take care of this real quick.
Well, badass. Thanks for your service, man. I like
I
that.
appreciate
I'm not here to harass y'all, all right?
badass.
So, y'all just hang out in your truck real quick, and then let me finish this. I'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm going to set the tailgate down.
It's not alcohol, man. It's smoke gum.
I don't drink it. It's good.
I ain't been drinking. I've been in the truck.
Man? Oh, man. No, I didn't really realize you lost your Second Amendment rights. And it doesn't ask you on the state of Texas am. I know you don't.
On the side of the road, it's not time about it.
Huh?
On the side of the road, it's not time.
Especially when you lost my license. Sunglasses? I ain't got no sunglasses. I figure it'd be better to get this up to the service station in a big parking lot rather than trying to do it here. Not only that, we'll have more people to help pushing it up. Hoping he hadn't. But releasing it to us, I don't think he's authorized to go through. It's being released.
That inventory real quick. All right, and I'll be right back with you. Okay.
And it's a good thing you called me. I had a truck, but they would have impounded it. And you're right. I'm not going to get too much into it because they'll impound that bike.
Well, that video was interesting, wasn't it, Mel?
Yes, it was. It certainly raises a lot of questions.
It sure does.
If you think about what went on there and how it all went down.
Yeah. It's
The first being, I mean, we've already talked about it, is how the hell did his name get on a criminal database? And how the hell was he able to get a CHL if he's a supposed criminal? You know, things just don't join up here. Now, obviously, he's not a criminal. He should have and did receive his CHL.
Yes, he did.
But because some idiot decided he belonged in a criminal gang database, now everything goes south because you got another lunatic that's loose on the streets wearing a badge and a gun that has way too much power and is, you know, taking him to jail, impounding his motorcycle, inventorying the vehicle, and, you know, it just goes on and on and on.
You know, Mel, the reason I said earlier that officer did not seem to have good judgment because he'd been in trouble before. His name is Michael M. Tice, DPS officer Michael M. Tice. If you'll remember, there was an incident where two females that he hauled to jail, and when they were in the jail, as he brought them into the jail, they were told they had to remove all their jewelry, and that included their nipple rings. So there's a lady police officer present, you know, and they're trying to get these rings out, and one of them's being stubborn. And he decides to start giving a hand. Now, Mel, in this day and age, you don't do that kind of crap.
He wanted to cop a feel.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, he should have left the frickin' room.
Yep.
He shouldn't have been there. And even if there wasn't a lady officer present, he needed to get one. And to me, that's just a form of bullying, a form of harassment by not leaving the room. And so, you know, that did not show good judgment to me. That showed me that the man shouldn't even have a damn badge.
Any law enforcement officer should be above beyond reproach. If you're going to be out there enforcing laws that are on the books, you need to be the proverbial glass house.
Right.
Where you're above reproach.
Mm-hmm.
You have to conduct yourself in a manner that is conducive to the job title that you hold. And if you're not, there shouldn't be any thin blue line. There shouldn't be any union job protection. Your ass ought to be fired immediately because you're out there to protect and serve the public. That's a job that you took. And those are the rules you should have to live under. And when you get an idiot like that molests a female, he should have lost his badge a long time ago.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't know what that says about his the people in command above him.
Well, it tells you the organization is rotten.
Yes.
Once again, you got the thin blue line, and this is talked about a lot, where they come out with criminal statistics on these law enforcement departments, where they feel that anything they're able to get a hold of is probably just the tip of an iceberg, because everything gets covered up. Nobody will report or tell on anyone.
Exactly.
They cover each other for illegal activities, but they arrest everyone else and throw us in jail for doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But they keep their badge and gun, by God.
Oh, yeah. Let's circle the wagons, even though he's rotten as hell. If you're going to put yourself out there, and say, hey, I'm a first responder, I'm out here serving the public. Well, hell, serve the public. But do it in the proper manners. And with the proper manners. And that certainly wasn't it. Certainly wasn't it. And it's not proper what we see going on here. Mel, evidently during the CHL process, and I've looked at that CHL form, I've filled it out myself. There is nothing in there that asked me whether I was a gang member or anything like that. Nothing. And so, so evidently there's some kink in the system here. Because if you're not showing up as a criminal, and surely they do an FBI background check whenever you buy a gun, they raise so much hell about it.
That's right. They do a background check. You don't come back with a criminal record, so you get the license.
Right.
And therein lies the fallacy of the criminal gang database, because it's a list, or it's a compilation of data that is not necessarily true.
Exactly, Mel. It's data gathered by biased individuals who are going to benefit in some way.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's somebody's wet dream to to get a budget to run a gang unit.
And it's Governor Abbott's wet dream to think that he's the leader of it all.
Oh yeah,
To the point.
Didn't he tell his DPS people he wanted them out there putting everybody they could in the criminal gang database?
Get them into my database, even if they look like a gang member. And that's what we had going on in Garland, Mel. In Garland, Texas, that's what we had going on there when that police officer stood there and said, plain as day, we've got it on video, well, if you're going to wear cuts, if you're going to look the part, well, you got to expect to be profiled.
So if one of those Looney Tunes puts you in the database, you are a de facto criminal.
Yes. Even though
you,
yeah, go ahead, say it.
even though you've never done a damn thing,
I know.
you're a criminal.
I know. It just makes me wonder, Mel, where in the hell we're stuck in. What database we're in.
Jeez.
But, But we don't give a damn. We know the truth, and we have the Constitution. You know, and the Constitution protects the things we do. And when we go to these courthouses and these other places and into these sheriff's offices, you know, we're protected. They don't make a damn whether they like it or not. It just doesn't.
Yeah. Well, there's a huge disconnect here because, you know, I mean, what we're beginning to discover is that a criminal gang database, as it exists in Texas, is nothing more than a profiling venue.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's some kind of a profile that's been set up on people that may or may not be guilty of having committed crimes, and emphasis on may not have. It's like the airline industry, you know. I mean, look at the bullshit you have to go through just to take a plane somewhere.
Yeah.
You're groped, radiated, and whatever the hell else they can do to you just to get on a frickin' airplane.
Exactly.
Because unlike some of the other airlines in the world that profile, we don't allow that here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't allow profiling to get on an airplane, why the hell are we allowing profiling of individuals who wear a cut?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not wearing a turban or a rag on my head,
Mm-hmm.
but I wear a cut. So, you know, I guess if I wore a turban or rag, then they couldn't put me in the database. Is that what they're telling me? Same thing. You know, I mean,
Or if you're an illegal alien,
yeah,
I guess.
So they allow profiling in some forms, and in other forms, it's banned. It's not politically correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Mel, there are plenty of laws out there that are not enforced because they're just rotten. And this is one of them. This is truly one of them. And we've got to work together to straighten this mess out.
Yep. We're
And-
definitely looking for support when this thing goes to trial.
That's right. And there's others out there that's going on. Everybody notice we hardly ever mention a club's name. We're not interested so much in the clubs as we are in what law enforcement is doing and what their capabilities have been expanded to the point that it's violating our constitutional rights.
And we've definitely covered issues that cover more than one dominant club.
That's right. That's right. And so, you know, there's more of these type trials going on out there. Also in Parker County right now, I want to put out an alert about Parker County. They're taking bikers to jail for traffic violations,
You
for
come to
minor
a stop.
tracker violations.
Come to a stop. Don't put your foot on the ground.
That's right.
Your ass may end up in jail, and your bike's impounded, and they may inventory your vehicle.
Yeah. They inventory your damn vehicle. That's that damn thing.
I guess that's the new thing instead of
Impound.
illegal search.
Yeah, I guess that sounds,
Inventory.
I guess it sounds better than impound, to inventory it. Just saying. I kept hearing that from that Officer Tice over and over in that video. Inventory. And I guess they were on Highway 195 out of Milam County. But it'll be interesting going forward. Stay tuned. And we got stuff going on, like I said, in Parker County. The sheriff out there, Paw. Oh, yeah. We'll be taking a look at him, and we'll be traveling back to Waxahachie soon, and back to Garland, and all these places that. say they don't want us, but we go there anyway. It's quite fun to see what's going to happen. With that, Mel, you got anything we want to wrap up with?
Yeah, I was just thinking, if we could get some of the other clubs out there to take rides to certain areas to see if they get profiled. I mean, some clubs will do that, and some, I don't know. They may not want, they may not care to, but we could use some help, because I'll tell you, we've got enough areas to check here lately. I don't think we have enough days in the week to do this. We've been trying to get back to Garland to see if we could tickle their fancy, and it's not happened so far because we got so much other stuff going on. So if there's any clubs out there listening and you want to go to Garland, specifically to that, what's the name of that business that that gang unit likes to hang out?
5 Star Cycle. What's the name of that
5
business?
Star Cycle. And hey, there's a McDonald's right down the street.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can go sip a Coke for a while, park your bikes and go sip a Coke and see if you can garner any action. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, the police see you there, at the 5 Star Cycle, or down at the McDonald's, they see you there, that they call out the gang unit, and here they come. It's now
Nothing else. It'll be an amusing afternoon.
That's right. Our SA has a theory that we're having problems getting stopped because they know who we are, and they don't want to end up on YouTube because they know we got some questions. So that's just the theory, and we're testing it, and so far it's holding true. But one of these days we'll run into that one jerk that just wants to see who we are and what we're doing.
Yep.
And we ain't telling him shit.
Maybe that'll happen this weekend. Not saying where we're going, but
that's right.
We'll be traveling through some areas that maybe we can put it to the test.
That'll be cool. Always is. And everybody, remember, record, and report. There's another R in there. I'm going to have to ask what it was, but record and report. Make sure you get pulled over, you record it. It's for your own protection. And get names, time, badge number, and place. Get that information. If you're shy about asking for body cameras, we will ask for it for you. But we got to have those pieces of information. The officer's name, the badge number if you can get it, the time and the place. We need those details, and we can get body cam videos. If we don't have one of those, it's they send us back a letter telling us we don't have enough information. So do your due diligence. With that, everybody, have a great weekend and ride safe.
Yep, be safe.
Good night, Mel.
Bye.